Oppenheimer is much more than you expect. Not only is it the origin story of humanity's greatest weapon of destruction, but it is also the story of a man, a scientist who touched the divine and fell back into the cold harshness of reality. For those of you who haven't had the chance to watch the movie, or for those who just want to relive this thriller, here's a 180 seconds dive into the remarkable life of Robert J. Oppenheimer. Just like we expect from a Christopher Nolan's movie, we're first presented with intertwined sequences of Oppenheimer's life. He's sitting in a room with his wife behind him, and he's being relentlessly questioned about his past. His answers bring us to his younger years when he studied chemistry at Harvard and then Cambridge, which he hated. He left Cambridge and chemistry to continue studies in theoretical physics in Germany. Woven into the early years of Oppenheimer, we're shown a series of black and white scenes introducing Lewis Strauss, a very important character in Oppenheimer's later troubles. Lewis Strauss is chair of the AEC, Atomic Energy Commission, a government agency responsible for controlling the development of atomic science. While it's not clearly said in the movie, Strauss himself is at the center of a hearing for being nominated by President Eisenhower for Secretary of Commerce. Coming back to the US, Oppenheimer meets Ernest Lawrence, a professor who's working on a particle accelerator, the cyclotron, at Berkeley University. He starts to give classes on theoretical physics to the few students who will listen to him. In those years, he starts a relationship with Gene Tadlock, a writer for the Communist Party newspaper, but it doesn't last. Oppenheimer becomes increasingly involved in communist group activities, gathering, unions. He soon meets Catherine Puning, a married woman who would eventually become his wife. The war with Germany starts to become a looming threat. Fear that the Germans are building a powerful bomb sparked the creation of a project, the famous Manhattan Project. Oppenheimer meets General Groves, who appoints him as director of the Manhattan Project. It's a research project aiming at developing the first American atomic bomb. They recruit as many prominent scientists as they can, and they literally build a city where the testing will happen, Los Alamos. During his time as director there, many tensions arise surrounding Oppenheimer's past. His previous communist ties, through his brother and some of his friends, make his security clearance much longer to process. He goes back to see his ex-girlfriend, Jean Tadlock, and tells her things are most definitely done between them. Struggling with severe episodes of depression, she is found drowned in her bathtub with an unsigned note pointing towards her suicide. As the final testing day, the Trinity test approaches, pressure mounts as they know a failed test would be catastrophic. The Trinity test goes through successfully, but as it turns out, it only goes downhill from there. Oppenheimer realizes the incredible power that such a weapon has, and as much as he saw the atomic bomb as a giant leap in scientific achievement, others, such as President Truman, saw it as a golden opportunity to impose their supremacy over Japan. Another turn of event starts to trouble Oppenheimer deeply, and that is actually when he discusses with Einstein. He feels like reality is slipping through his finger. The invention of the atomic bomb would not stop with Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It would instead start an international arms race that would lead to the Cold War, a very dark period of time. Oppenheimer becomes a defender for the restriction of nuclear programs, an opinion that Mr. Strauss strongly disagrees with. We slowly learn that Strauss is a very vindictive person. Through his years of knowing Oppenheimer, he developed a hate for his success, his strong personality, his political influence, his opinion. We discover that Oppenheimer's hearing we were shown since the first scene in the movie is in fact an interrogation by the AEC, heavily pushed by Strauss to decide the renewal of Oppenheimer's security clearance. Strauss knows a denied security clearance would effectively end Oppenheimer's public career, which is why he makes sure it happens in every legal and illegal ways. Oppenheimer loses his security clearance, but what Strauss doesn't anticipate is Dr. Hill, a colleague of Oppenheimer, testifying against Strauss's nomination as Secretary of Commerce. In Strauss's own hearing in front of the Senate, Dr. Hill exposes all his doubts and the doubts of his fellow scientists about Strauss's personal vendetta against Oppenheimer. Strauss, in his turn, is denied his nomination and makes American history by being one of the only 9 cabinet members to be refused by the Senate. Ever. Call it karma, call it justice, that made me happy. After this rejection, Strauss resigned from his recess appointment, which ended his government career. Dr. Hill went on to work in the private sector, and Oppenheimer, he moved to the Virgin Islands and lived there for a while before coming back to the US several times to give lectures at universities. But he never went back to politics. What a story! There are so many details in this story that it was really difficult to make a summary of it. If you enjoyed mine, don't hesitate to like and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. But talking about more, definitely watch this video if you want to get more details from the Oppenheimer movie. It's the best content to watch if you're wondering why Oppenheimer was such a great movie.